go ahead and get this party started. Welcome to the April 16th session of the Capital Regional Transportation. What does the P stand for?
Planning.
Planning, yeah, that's what I thought. Planning agency, okay. All right, just want to add a little humor, because if Quincy was here, she'd make it a little light and what have you. And so when she sees this meeting, want to let her know that our thoughts and prayers are with her. She's taking care of a family member, so she couldn't be here with us today. And so I'm filling in for her. So we have our agenda before us. We're going to call the meeting order at 1:30, and we'll call for the roll call.
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Austin Hosford.
Here.
Commissioner Neesmith. Here. Commissioner O'Keefe.
Here.
Commissioner Minor.
Here.
Commissioner Matlow.
Here.
Commissioner Richardson.
Here.
Commissioner Williams Cox.
Here.
Did I miss anyone? Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. And welcome to all the board members. We'll now move into item number 2. Are there any agenda modifications?
No, ma'am.
Okay, no agenda modifications. Thank you. We'll move into item 3, public comment on items not appearing on the agenda. We have any
Did not
public?
have speaker cards. We're good to go on that one.
Okay, no speaker cards. All right. We'll move on to the consent agenda then.
Move consent, Madam Chair.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to accept the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Moving right along, yes, there's no need to ask about any consent items pulled for discussion. We'll go on to the roll call vote for this agenda item.
Yes, ma'am. We've got 2 TIP amendments, and Ms. Lex is going to give you a brief overview of both of those.
These are projects that are being added into actually next year's fiscal budget. But because the feds don't recognize our tip till October 1, that needs to be in our current tip as well. So we're amending our current tip. When the July 1 new tip goes into effect, they're both consistent, and DOT will process the request for funding from FHWA to move these projects along. Okay. So these are both local projects that they've added money to, and we're really pleased to see the funding come forth for these.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
So DOT is who we're thanking for this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Suzanne, do
Thank you, DOT.
You just want to go over both of them real quick for the record.
Okay. Well, the first one is one of our priorities. It's the Paul Russell Road. It's $2.9 million in funding for the sidewalk construction. Leon County is completing the design. They're almost finished with that now. The next one is funding for the intersection improvement with the realignment at Thomasville Road with Ox Bottom and Velda Dairy. This was, again, FDOT is providing funding in support of this project, as well as some of our discretionary SU funding is being used to accomplish this project. Any
Okay.
questions on those specific amendments?
Are there any questions regarding this gift?
Madam Chair, I'd move option 1.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that we accept option number 1. This is a roll call vote. So
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
Just very quickly, I am so glad to see this on the agenda. I frequently travel that portion of Paul Russell Road between Monday and Appalachia Parkway, and there is a lot of residential development along there and no sidewalks on either side of that segment of road. So I'm really glad to see that is being taken care of.
In fact, there are ditches there right now, I
Yes,
believe.
yes.
Excuse me, and that's a correction. It's a city project. I said county. And it's
City.
actually the city who's finishing the design and going to, then they will complete these projects, both of these projects through a LAP agreement. So they want to go ahead, as I said, and get this initiated as soon as possible come July 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam
Real
Chair.
quick, just on Commissioner Richardson's note. The schedule right now for Paul Russell, the design is supposed to be completed, I think, in late summer. They're looking to go out to bid in the fall, and hopefully construction would begin after the first of the year.
Good.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll go ahead with the roll call vote.
Yes. Okay, Commissioner Hosford,
Aye.
Commissioner Goldwire, Commissioner Neesmith,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Keefe,
Aye.
Commissioner Minor,
Aye.
Commissioner Matlow,
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Williams Cox.
Aye.
Unanimously passes.
Okay, thank you. Next on our agenda is CRTPA action, number 7. Do we have any public comments that the public is welcome to?
No, ma'am, we did not
Address?
get any comments. This is our biannual Transportation Alternatives Priority Project list. I'm going to have Mr. Burke ask him to give you a brief overview, presentation on the process, and then
Hold up, thanks. So good afternoon. We are here today, as you heard, to adopt the TA Transportation Alternatives Project Priority List. Just a brief reminder of how we actually got here today. November 1st this year, TPA called for applications for the Transportation Alternatives Program. We ultimately received 4 applications, 2 from Wakulla, 1 from City of Tallahassee, and 1 from Leon County. At your November meeting, you all actually approved the evaluation criteria for the TA subcommittee to do a draft ranking of these projects. And that committee, TA subcommittee, met with the applicants in late February. And so here we are today to actually consider their recommended ranking and to ultimately get your approval or adoption of that to go to FDOT. And this is the draft ranking of these projects. First project, as you see, that was recommended to be ranked number 1 was actually a Wakulla County project on Spring Creek. City of Tallahassee had a project on Waverly Street, and that was ranked number 2 by the TA subcommittee, a very good project as well. And then the next one was a second project from Wakulla County, and then finally Leon County submitted a project for a sidewalk project on that. And the Waverly project was actually Waverly Road, not Waverly Street. But again, very good projects that were submitted. So your TPA, as you may remember from November, are increase annually for TA funds that are directed specifically for this program from the district doubled most recently to about $660,000 annually. And that said, if you have any questions on any of these projects or the process, I can answer them.
Okay, any questions? Thank you, Mr. Burke. Any questions? Okay. We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second, Madam Chair.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that we accept the recommended action as listed, option number 1, to adopt the TA project priority list. This is not a roll call, so we'll just go all in favor. Let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll move on to item number 8, Florida Department of Transportation report. Thank you again for the gifts of the millions.
You're most welcome. Madam Chair, the department has one item to update the board on today. It's related to a resurfacing project that's coming on Thomasville Road, segment from Monroe Street going northeast to 9th Avenue. That's moving forward in our 3R, or our resurfacing program. Through some significant contributions from Blueprint 2000, we were able to provide a segment that will provide substantial pedestrian improvements, specifically along this corridor from north of Calhoun Street to south of 6th Avenue. We'll have the opportunity to remove the two-way center turn lane to provide additional pedestrian-friendly options, as well as adding a 6-foot sidewalk on the northbound side of the road and an 8-foot sidewalk on the southbound side of that corridor, in addition to the ongoing water and sewer system improvements along that way. We do appreciate the contribution of Blueprint 2000 to leverage against our resurfacing dollars as we move this project forward. We are looking to let this project in winter of 2025, so it is a fairly near-term project. And with that, that concludes the department's update.
Thank you. Any questions? Concerns? Thank you. And that's an informational item, so there's no need to do anything other than accept the information. So we'll move on to the executive director's report, item number 9.
All right, just quickly, first of all, thank you all for coming out for such a short agenda meeting today. I think this might be a record at the rate we're going. But the TA applications, if you saw in Greg's presentation, were actually due April the 26th, so we couldn't hold this off until next month. Just a couple of items. We're moving along on the North Monroe Safety Study. We have a public meeting scheduled for April 29th at the Lake Jackson Community Center to present some of the potential improvements for that project. We're still on the deadline to have that application submitted May 16th. That's moving along pretty well. We saw the first draft of some potential improvements last week. Hopefully have something out to you all later this week, early next week, so you can at least see what's part of that before we get out to the public meeting on the 29th. And then probably more of a thorough update at your meeting next month, hopefully. And then the only other thing, we're actually in the process of updating our public involvement plan. One of the requirements for that plan is we have a 45-day public comment period. So we'll be initiating that probably late this week or early next week. And again, with a presentation on that updated plan to you next month. Madam Chair, that's all.
Okay. Any questions of the executive director with the information that's been provided? All right, thank you. Thank you, Greg. Our next item is just listing of our future meeting dates. Please take that into consideration and make sure that you have it on your calendars. And also any CRTPA committee actions are also listed here, just for information purposes only. And items, what is it, utilization report is also included for information only. And item number 11, items for CRTPA board members. Do we have anything? Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just very quickly, I just want to thank the Florida Department of Transportation and Mr. Falk for the resurfacing on Thomasville. That's a great project. It's going to be highly visible. A lot of people use that stretch of road, and they will use the sidewalk. So thank you very much for FDOT. Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Well, since this is such a short meeting, I won't mention trains, track rail. I'll save it for a longer time. Oops, I mentioned it, huh?
I think that counts.
Okay. All right, is there anything else to come before this board? Hearing none, we will stand in adjournment.